Welcome to the Mario era, chapter 162.
162 de Mario. It's me. It's a lights out time, my boys. It's a lights out. Lights out. No, I'm not talking about your bedtime. I didn't get to you yet. Okay, stop, Dr. Doom. Right,
Dr. Heatherman to you,
Dr. Heatherman, Dr. Doom. I'm not talking about lights out like it's a bedtime. It's lights out because we have Shawne Merriman coming later on. Mr. Lights Out. I'm excited for this one.
Absolutely.
How good was
a menace.
How like a menace. That's a great word. Like somebody who truly like you have to account for at all times. Every play, every pre-snap, every post-snap window. You had to know where that guy is at all times. That's how much of a pain in the ass he was.
Yeah.
Damn.
He was like a hurricane to me. Certain dudes just like when I think of Sean Taylor, right? I think of Michael Barrow. It's like I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to jinx it. I bet you because this is the way this thing goes. I bet you he wanted to be a hurricane.
Everybody wants to be a hurricane.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, he probably could have been, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so. First round pick. Well, I think he was the 13th pick overall.
12th. Yeah.
12th.
Yeah. And then Ralph Friedgen with his coach. Feed me and call me coach.
There it is. Last week's show.
Maybe we shouldn't bring that up like that though.
No, not in those. Not in those.
Not in those.
It's not sound endearing to his former coach.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna have Merriman coming up in just a little while. Guys, got anything you want to hit before we get down to Green Tree?
I think we should.
Fight 72. Fight 8.
Let's go.
Right. Scoop, we do have confirmation. It is Jay Lucas.
I'm sorry.
It's Jay Lucas.
It's Jay Lucas.
It's Jay?
It is Jay Lucas, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I still didn't know that.
Yep.
I mean, if you're a South Florida guy, you see JAI, you're thinking Dania Highlight. Are you not?
Yeah. It's highlight all day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to
go down there. That was fun, man.
Yeah, they had two numbers. I never understood that. It was one number on the front and one number on the back. It's like, huh? Which number are you, boss?
Well, they still have the highlight down there.
What did they call that thing?
The pelota?
No,
I don't know.
No, the basket.
Yeah, the basket thing. Yeah.
Sure, the basket.
They still have highlight down in Dania.
Do they?
Yeah, at the casino, there's a much smaller, court. And
the court can't be smaller.
Well, I think, I don't know, thinner? I don't know. Like, how many courts were there before?
One that I know of.
Oh, I don't know. Well, there's still a highlight court there.
The basket used in the sport of highlight is called a cesta.
A cesta. Yeah.
Yeah.
A cesta.
I should say that the highlight, the last time I was there like 7 years ago, and it was there. So
okay. That was so much fun.
It was.
Betting on those dudes?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you beating a bookie would kill it in highlight.
I mean, they weren't crooked for sure.
No. Yeah. No, that was always on the up and up.
Of course.
Yes.
You know what else is on the up and up?
Corruptible sport.
Yeah, you know what else is on the up and up? Our Miami Hurricanes. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Spring ball.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
now it's spring break.
Game. Yeah, now it's spring break.
In the middle. Three practices, spring break.
Yeah.
How much do you think that this is basically a constraint system to make sure that these boys don't go crazy during spring break week?
The fact that they started prior?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to have something to do with it because logistically, otherwise, it's not ideal.
Not ideal.
That's the nicest way I had to put that.
Well, some of the
right?
some of the kids are showing out.
Yeah,
Hayden Lowe making some noise. The kids in the
he's a nightmare from what I understand.
Apparently, yeah.
Another defensive lineman who's going to be a real pain in the ass, like Shawne Merriman.
Well, he's a linebacker, but he was on the line of scrimmage.
Listen,
I understand that.
That's one of the things that this defense with Heatherman's going to have to do. We're going to need this defensive line needs to get consistent pressure with the front four.
Listen, I didn't see during the film reviews during the offseason why we took it over on the student of the game. I didn't see a lot of stunts, a lot of twists. I mean, it was simply a system of let's get upfield. Let's meet at the QB. We had that before with Craig Kuligowski, but It is literally a penetrating gap system. Let's get upfield, and it relies on its people to cover. I honestly do believe that the University of Miami, the way that they approach the portal and how they attack the portal and who they got in the secondary, knowing what they had on the defensive front, I think they hit it. I think they hit it in all parts. It's like a GM knowing the system that you need. And what do you need? You need the guys that can cover. If you can get the guys that can cover early, the defensive line is going to be great. And that's what they need. And that's the best, I feel, the best system for the University of Miami over the decades that we've watched. It's when you allow our athletes to get upfield and penetrate. Right?
Yeah,
when you don't allow that.
Yeah, and I think testament to it is, Bane's dropping some weight, right? So he's thinning out a bit, getting rid of any extra weight to be able to get a little bit twitchier, a little bit quicker to get upfield. So I think that may be a consensus with the philosophy of how they want to operate the defensive front. And then, look, there's a lot of talk about Xavier Lucas and how talented he truly is. Like he could be better than people thought he was. And again, it's an entirely revamped secondary. So we're going to see. I think, man, I don't know. I think it's going to be night and day, lights out. No, I think it's going to be night and day difference from what you saw last year.
Do you know how I knew Xavier Lucas was good? This is how I knew Xavier Lucas is good, because when there's a girl and she's a baddie, she's a real baddie, and she's good at what she does, typically the ex-boyfriend gets really crazy. Right? That's when the restraining order to hotness ratio, it's like the hotter she was, the chances your restraining order against that. Like when Wisconsin didn't want to let him go, like they were about to go to the verge of bankruptcy over this dude. I'm like, this dude's the truth. He's the truth. So it makes total sense. You have another great cover corner to go outside of OJ Frederick. God bless America. God bless the Hurricanes.
They did a preseason
DBs.
ACC spring power rankings, USA Today, and they've got Miami number 2. They've got Clemson at number 1.
Okay.
Because Clemson basically is returning everybody.
Okay.
Top-rated quarterback in the conference with senior Cade Klubnik. Pretty much all of their production has come back. Pretty much this is for all Power 4 teams. Pretty much they have brought back more talent than anybody else out there.
And they go in the portal now.
Yeah, Miami's 2, Louisville is 3, Georgia Tech 4. They're not on the schedule, thank God. And SMU is 5.
Well, and I find this interesting too, because 2 is Louisville, Georgia Tech is 3. None of those teams were not ranked. Well, Georgia Tech wasn't ranked when we played them. Louisville was ranked. We knocked them out, but University of Miami didn't really beat good teams last year. That's how you know that the system is broke. I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse. You got to start ranking these teams probably like 6 weeks into the season. Preseason rankings don't mean nothing.
Continue on down that list.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's certain teams I haven't mentioned yet. Yeah, so number 5 is SMU. Number 6, Bill Belichick in North Carolina.
Okay.
Number 7, Manny Diaz. Number 8 in a 17-team league, Florida State.
Okay.
That's way too high.
So that's borderline 500, if you ask me. So it could be another losing season for the boys. Number 9 is Virginia. Number 10 is Pittsburgh.
What happens? I do want to know what happens when we suck again.
Listen, I'll tell you this. Based on these standing, this top 8, this isn't good for Florida State financially either.
Because
in terms of the ACC TV money.
They're just going to have to keep this guy.
We like him.
Great. This is awesome.
If he has another terrible season, I don't think he escapes it.
Well, they can't go 2-10. Look, they're not going 2-10.
No, but I'm even talking.
They can't be as bad as they were last year.
I'm talking
they have
about
a wide receiver playing quarterback, Scoop. So let's not, I mean.
Oh, I forgot. They got Castellanos.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're running him out there?
Yes, they are. That's QB1 apparently. Yeah.
Listen,
he's got no competition.
I could see them going 7-5.
Well,
I can see us going.
What's his name left? Rodenbach or whatever. Friggin' left.
He did.
Left.
So Castellanos, the wide receiver, has no competition.
Rickenbacker.
Basically, yeah. Rickenbacker.
Causeway.
That's like when a small town elects a dog as the mayor because no one else ran.
Yeah. I elected Rickenbacker.
Exactly.
Mayor Rickenbacker. Oh, that'll be the day.
Oh man.
It'll be here before you know it. We're already in spring. Then you get that summer 1, summer 2, another portal. We'll see, because this was the thing that happened last year with the University of Miami Hurricanes. Out of that spring going into the summer, they decided, yeah, this is good. I think we can win it a lot of games with this team. Obviously, they overshot the landing. So very important next couple months for the University of Miami Hurricanes and how successful this team's going to be in 2025.
In terms of that last portal opportunity here in whatever is a few weeks or whatever, is wide receiver the one position that you're all kind of looking like I wouldn't mind one more guy here?
Correct. The guy, not one more guy, like somebody who's, and correct me if I'm wrong too, the guy from Pitt, right, that ended up going to USC, he was a summer guy. He was not
Addison?
Yeah. He was, I don't think he was an early portal guy. I think he was a late portal guy.
He was very late, actually. Yeah.
After spring. So there's potential there. You know, there's a potential. And why not? Because if there's going to be a magnet, if there's going to be an attractive element here, it's the fact that, okay, Carson Beck is here. We anticipate a great offense. I can go ahead, and if he raises his stock, I can be the guy that helps him raise his stock. Thus, I raise my stock. So University of Miami has to strike when the iron's hot. It can't be superlatives. It can't be, oh, you know, Nykar's doing great. You know, we got, you know, this, you know, guy's doing great. You know, we hear it every year. This guy's great in spring. Oh, yeah, you know, watch out for this. Heads are turning. No, I don't need my head to turn. I need them to look and just know, right? You look at Ruben Bain, you knew. Nobody guesses. Nobody has to guess. If your head's turning, no, I need it to stay on that person. Like, that's the dude. Yeah, that's the dude. And you got to make sure coming in, you get a wide receiver that you know that's the guy.
Man, dude, how big a season is this for Ruben Bain? Phenomenal freshman year, gets hurt right at the beginning of last season, so pretty much misses the whole season was a wash. I mean, this is a huge year for him.
If he does what he's supposed to do, that's another first round potential, dude. If he does what he's supposed to do, because they're gonna write off last season because he was hurt and the type of injury he has that's tough for a D lineman. He's going to look the part. And that's what, you know, great for Mario to say, hey, look, you're a beast, but you can even be more of a beast. This is what I need you to do. He answered the bell. He looks great. Feels great. Going to be a difference maker. He puts up double-digit sacks. Then you go back, look at his freshman film. Go back and look. You could go to Student in a Game. Look at what Ruben Bain did to the Clemson Tigers 2 years ago.
What do you put his sacks over-under number at?
8
the season.
Oh my God, that was my number.
We've been doing this a long time. So.
I know. I swear I didn't even get it out, and I was 8.5 right in my dome, and he says it.
Yeah, 8.5.
Golly,
it's a good number. I'm going over.
With the secondary that we have, I'm going to go over. If you have last year's secondary, similar results, I would go under. But I think with a healthy secondary, it's going to start there. I think a healthy over for Ruben Bain if he's healthy.
All right.
Let's go.
What do you want to do next, baby?
I guess we can talk about our partners and then go talk to Shawne Merriman.
Oh, Frank! Oh my God, we got Shawne.
It's a great idea.
I think it's a very good idea.
Listen, it's 981 roof. 981 roof. Lights on or lights off. You still need a roof over those light switches, right? Lights on or lights off.
Bange.
That's it. Bange. That's it, right? It's hurricane season. It's blue tarp season. So 561-954-305, 981 roof. Those are your boys. Call them. Not just total roof repairs, but they will also do total roof overhauls. They'll give you a brand new roof, right? There you go, Dorothy. We're not in Kansas anymore. We got houses landing on thing, but you got a roof on that house. And you just got to give one man a call. And what's his name?
It's Paul.
Yeah. What do you do with Paul?
You give Paul a call.
Yeah. And I know you will, because you'll need to, because I did. So let's go. Bange.
MiamiHTS.com, Miami Hurricane Team Store, the official place to get your Miami Hurricane wares, and where they have just dropped the Adidas Miami Hurricanes Adidas Zero SL2 shoes. You can get them right now at MiamiHTS.com. You use promo code OBB24, you get 20% off that $140 price, which is like what, Scoop? Like $24, something like that?
What'd you say the price was?
140?
No, it'd be $28.
$28. Well, there you go. Yeah, I was off by 4. See, that's why we turned you $28 off those shoes. using our promo code. All right.
That's why you don't write real estate contracts.
Exactly. Also, manscaped.com, promo code OBB will also get you 20% off there. So you can buy everything you need so that your balls taste like jelly beans when she puts them in her mouth.
Taste. Did you? Holy fuck! Beatingthebookie.com is where you
What
get
a
all of your.
segue.
No, I'm moving right along. I don't even. I want to hear nothing more out of him. At Beating the Bookie, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Get your free plays. What do we have tomorrow? The players starts this morning. The players starts this morning, ladies and gentlemen, up at TPC Sawgrass. So you can get that package if you listen to this early enough for the whole weekend. Good. Beatingthebookie.com.
Good, baby.
See, I don't even know golf at all, but I know the 17th hole is
right.
like the most famous hole
It's
in
iconic.
golf. And if you don't have a Beating the Bookie package, you're not on the green on that hole. You're in the water. Get on the green with Beating the Bookie.
17th is going to have some competition from the 6th.
No, the tree's back. But I will tell you that drive on that hole is, for me, I'm a pretty good player, really hard. Like I didn't have to deal with the tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a visually impossible tee shot. And now they put this tree in your face. Like, it's wild to me.
The tree was there back in the original. They had to chop it down.
I know.
15 years ago, whatever. Now they have.
I still haven't watched the
tree.
video. I have to go watch the video.
Oh, my God. It's so awesome. It's just hanging over the tee box. And
remarkable, yeah.
Are you going to
literally tickling your head? your skull.
Shawne Merriman, everybody. Let's get to it. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating, easy. There's dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives with fresh, fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. Lose it to 8 pounds in 8 weeks. You've got Factor Keto meals based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise. 40 options across 8 dietary preferences. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. And you literally just pull it out of the fridge, throw it in the microwave. You're done in like 2 minutes, and you can just take a few with them to work, so you can hit them with throughout the day. Just do them at home, whatever. If you're busy on the run with kids doing stuff, bro, kids will eat anything. I mean, let's go. Like, just throw them in the fridge and you are all set. So they got a special going on right now. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast. New promo code right now. Use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
You're on my time. I'm always 5 minutes early, so
I'm a minute late.
Oh, I know the rule. If you're early, you're on time.
I got PTSD, bro. If I'm not 5 minutes early, it's 5,000 fine. So I'm always there.
Yeah.
Man, this is super cool. Man, there was a stretch there when you were literally the most feared defensive player in the NFL. And it was scary and as fun as hell to watch every single week. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a Maryland Terrapin, was the number 12 overall selection of the San Diego Chargers back in 2005. It is Shawne Merriman. My man, how are you?
What's up, fellas?
Let's go.
Hey, I tell you, look, the poster behind him, right? And it's got the Charger blue. I will tell you, he's even got the jersey next to him. I would tell you
he's got the Bills jersey down there.
That color,
it looks like a Bills one.
I'm obsessed with that color. I gotta be honest with you. The Charger blue, right?
You know,
the bolts. I think I had a T-shirt.
I think that. I mean, I could be biased, but I think the Charger blue, that's this blue behind me, is the best uniforms in all of football. Like when we used to come out Sunday night, Monday night games in those, it was a guaranteed win. I got to go back and look at our record when we had those on. I don't remember losing when we had those on.
Especially when you were on the field.
Yeah.
I think you had something to do with it in the uniform.
A little bit.
I mean, in your intro, it's 1,000% true. I mean, even all the way down here in South Florida, you're in San Diego, right? So you're on the opposite end of the world. But we know when it was lights out. You know, talk to us. Like, how did that lights out persona come about?
Dude, so my sophomore year, I knocked out 4 kids in a game in high school, right? And after the game, I had like 20 students come run up to me. And they're like, "Oh, you knocked those guys' lights out." So I'm looking at like all the students and all the kids I went to school with. And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Call me lights out." and it stuck. Dude, I got into school. I went to school Monday. I had my backpack on. I had books in my hand, and people were walking by me like, "Yo, Lights, that was a great game." I said, "Lights."
Who?
So it caught on. So we got done with school. I went home, and my mom was in the room. She was like, my mom smoked cigarettes like crazy. So I'm walking in the room. She had the door closed. I'm walking. I'm moving smoke out there. I said, "Mom, listen, I want to get this Lights Out tattoo on my right forearm because everybody's called me Lights Out now." And she looked at me and she was like, "Boy, get the hell out the room," right? Off the rip. So anyway, every day for 2 weeks, I went in there hounding her after school, hounding her. We gonna get it? We gonna finally after the end of the 2 weeks, she let me go get this Lights Out tattoo on my right forearm. So that's when the whole dance kind of started to come around. So I pretended to flick the light switch on and off my right forearm. So and I didn't really plan it, dude. Like I had a big hit against Georgia Tech at the University of Maryland my freshman year, and I just did it. I didn't really mean to do it. The crowd went crazy. My teammates and the coaches went crazy. But my head coach, Ralph Friedgen, he told me, he said, "You ever do that shit again, you'll never play here." Right?
Come on,
So
Ralph.
I had to shelf the whole thing, like with jumping up and down and doing like I had to shelf it. When I got to the league, dude, it was like all hell broke loose. Like I could do it for 5 minutes if I wanted to, and nobody was gonna say nothing.
You know what you could have done? You could have jumped down to the University of Miami. No one would have cared.
So let me tell you about this. So I committed to Maryland, University of Maryland, my junior year, and Maryland offered me after a camp I did my sophomore year, but they officially gave me my offer my junior year. I was this close. I was this close to going to Miami. I was this close from leaving Maryland and going to Miami.
Don't even want to talk about this anymore.
End it.
That was
going to hurt everybody.
That was the only school that I would have decommitted from and then went to Miami.
What year was that?
This was 01. No, this 2000 to 2001. Okay. So I would have been on that 2002 team.
Okay, the year after, the year that lost.
Yeah, right. The year we got
what? Well, maybe that doesn't happen if he's on the field. Do you think about that?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking about that, and I'm hurt about it. To be honest with
you. I'm so hurt. When you hear these greats that were like this close from coming to Miami, that's amazing. Hey, I got to ask you because you brought him up, and he kind of was involved in our show title last week, and that's your former college head coach and Ralph Friedgen. But what position would Ralph Friedgen play in college if he played in college?
I think he played quarterback or something at one point.
No. Really?
I think Ralph played. I'm serious. I think Ralph played at some point. I don't know how good he was, but somebody just told me just recently that Ralph played. I was like, no way in hell. I said, no way. And Ralph wasn't always that big too, by the way. So I've seen pictures of him. He always wasn't that big. But man, Ralph can coach his ass off, man. He was tough as nails. He was always on me, but one of the greatest coaches I got a chance to play for.
Why don't we segue
another great coach?
Good question. That was mine.
What was that?
Who's another great coach?
Well, if I had to rank him from top to bottom, Marty Schottenheimer would be number one. Because Marty was like, obviously, he played, so he had this mentality as a player still, and he was like, he was hard on you, but if you went out there and played, if you was one of his guys, you played the game the way it's supposed to be played, he'll love him to death. Now, if you went out there and you cut on that film and you jogging around and you loafing and half-assing it and not wanting to be physical with anybody, like you're gonna hate him. He's gonna run you out of there because you're just not gonna be able to deal with him. But Marty was a type dude. He'll come beginning of training camp before we even practice, like right after we done warming up, and do Oklahoma drills. Like he was on that shit. But man, you'll love him. He'll give these speeches to make you want to run through a damn wall, like every single time.
You surprised that he had that issue in the playoffs, like could never get over the hurdle?
I think when Marty, he's not here anymore, so I got to get no calls from him.
You got free reign here.
Yeah, no, I'll show everybody else when they hear this. But I think Marty's biggest problem is that he was so confident and he had an attitude like he was going to adjust it. Nobody can stop us no matter what. Right. And the team, some of the teams that beat us, they adjusted. Like they came out second half, deal with the hell. We went to during the game one time in the playoffs. We went to go tell Marty, said, "Hey, coach, they're calling out our plays." He said, looked at us, said, I don't give a shit, but can they stop us? This was his attitude, right? And it worked for us very well until we got to that like upper echelon of teams and coaches we had to play for. But that was the mentality of the team. We didn't give a damn who we played. It's just you couldn't stop us, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, that's interesting. So I want to bring you to today's game because it's obviously changed. So the lights out mantra persona, like it was intensified 1 out of 10. That game allowed the most amount of lights outness. The way that they call the rules, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was 10 when you played. How bad is it attenuated now in this level? How lights out could you have been in this era?
I would have adjusted. I would have adjusted because I would have had to. I would have got tired of being fined, playing for free, right? I would have definitely adjusted, but I think it would have taken away the passion and some of the love I had for the game. Because the biggest thing I miss about football now is being able to look somebody across from you and tell him, I'm going to ruin your life for 4 quarters and ain't shit you can do about it. I'm going to physically move another human being, toss him around, and I'm going to do it over and over. I'm going to do it 60 times, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so I think the mentality when you operate and you think like that and you play like that, like I'm getting your ass on the ground by any means necessary. So if I got to hit you across the head, across the neck, top of the shoulders, below your shoulder, it doesn't matter. As long as I get you on the ground and I want to inflict as much pain as possible. And so if your mentality is, hey, I can't go in this way because I'm gonna get $25,000 fine. You know, last year I think like Derwin James was fined like $75,000, just something total during the season, a crazy number, right? And
I mean, that's deserved. He's a Seminole.
yeah. Well, in that case, yeah. So I play, yeah.
When you watch now, Shawne, though, and you see the hits that get flagged on the quarterback now, as a defense, I mean, you must just cringe in your seat.
It's so hard, man. And that's why I said I kind of would lose. Now, I wasn't a dirty player by any means, but my intentions was going out there, like in between the whistles, were to try to knock you out. And by by whatever I had to do in order to do that. And I wanted to make sure you knew I was there. I want every time you go across the middle or cut back, you like, hold on, this big motherfucker's coming. And we gotta watch out, right? And so, and you want that presence on the field because I grew up I modeled my game after Lawrence Taylor. What Lawrence Taylor did was just instill fear in everybody. And I saw one person strike fear in other grown men. And I love that part of it. And so that's why I played the game and how I played the game. And so if somebody came in and said, hey, you can't do this anymore, but you can do this, but you can do this, but you can't do that. And I got to think that way during the game instead of just going out there for 60 minutes and playing my ass off, it probably would affect how I approach the game.
So as we're listening to you, I think the segue to what you do now makes total sense, right? I mean, because you went from one passion and the letters were the NFL, and now, you kind of segue that to the MMA. So talk to us about how you crossed that bridge.
So I grew up boxing. I grew up in Prince George's County and Washington, D.C. area. Tons of boxers. My uncles were professional boxers. So I grew up just boxing and fighting anyway, in backyards, in the street. It didn't matter. We fought a lot growing up. And so when I got drafted to the Chargers, MMA started to just catch fire like around 2000, that mid-2000s, right, where you had the Tito Ortiz and the Chuck Liddells and all these, big names. At that time, I was boxing in Jay Glaze's gym from Fox Sports. I was boxing in his gym because he had a gym in L.A. And he saw me hitting the mitts. He said, man, you can box. Like, what'd you do? I said, hey, my uncles were professional boxers. I grew up kind of boxing a little bit. He said, have you ever tried MMA? I think it'll help you out in football. So Jay texted me an address. And the next day I showed up on La Brea in LA. It was a gym in La Brea. I walked in. Jay Glaze is on my left, and then like Randy Couture is on my right. Right. So obviously I'm a big fan of the sports. I look at Jay. I said, hold on, you set me up because I'm damn sure not fighting Randy today. That's not happening. I think I'm getting set up walking in the gym like, no, this shit is not going down. And he said, no. We're going to teach you how to pummel and grapple and use your leverage, use your hands and other stuff about the sport. So I got in there the first day, dude, and Randy would just ragged all of my ass around, just left and right, and I'd leverage and getting under me and moving. I was tired. Probably first 15 minutes, I was gassed, right? So anyway, after that day, I was so I felt defeated leaving the gym. I text Randy and said, "Hey, what time you got?" Went back down to San Diego to do my all-season workouts because I had an 80% bonus at the hit, so I get it's like a $500,000 bonus if I work out like 75 or 80% with the team during the off-season. Drove back down and then drove right back out to LA to work out with Randy again the next day, and I just kept doing it. So anyway, that time me and Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture, who else around that time? Damn, I was training in the gym with Tyron Woodley when he was first coming in, mid to late 2000s. I was in the gym with him. So a lot of these guys coming up, and so you meet the coaches, the managers. So I knew I was probably around more MMA guys in the combat sports and boxers than I was other football players. So that's where I grew up around anyway. Fast forward, I ended up launching my MMA organization, Lights Out Xtreme Fighting, in 2019. So, working at all the big networks. I was at Fox for some years, like on and off for 10 years. I was at NFL Network and ESPN. I was at the launch of WWE Network. So I knew TV and I knew production. I knew how TV worked. And then I loved the sport and business of MMA. So when I launched, man, I was like, hey, how many fighters can we send to the UFC? Because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be like one of the official feeders to the UFC. So like last year, we sent 7 guys to the UFC. One of the most probably in all of the sport. So that's how it started, man. We started Fox Sports West and Prime Ticket Regional. I did that deal with them, and we was at Fubo TV, Fubo Sports for 2 years. I did that deal with them, and then I just launched my own network, Lights Out Sports TV, about 9 months ago. So we got a bunch of like free and cool sports from there now. We got like 30 different channels, over 320 sports movies and documentaries, and then we got exclusively the Rampage fight coming up too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Rampage and Rashad Evans in this influencer crossover series. So we got that one that's going to be free. The first part, undercard to the main card goes to pay-per-view. So yeah, man, we got big fight and we got a big fight for Lights Out Xtreme Fighting March 22nd in Long Beach, California. Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 23. We got 2 badasses on this card, Ashley Steiner and Arnold Jimenez, who's our main event. So we're stacked up, man. We're having to fight like every 4 to 5 weeks.
That's amazing. I mean, that Long Beach, that's where that one dude was from. Floppy hair, tiny guy. I can't remember his name, but he was
Uriah
really good.
Faber?
That guy.
Faber,
Yeah, Faber is from Long Beach, wasn't he? Yeah, that was fun.
There are so many fighters in Southern California. I mean, California in general, but mainly Southern California. And then Florida. Dude, there's so many damn, like, really, really good. I've been trying to have a fight down there. We just haven't made our way, either in Fort Lauderdale or Miami. Tampa's a good spot. So yeah, I'm working it out right now. We're trying to get down there sometime this year.
So are you competing against UFC, or you're feeding to UFC, right?
Yeah, we've been feeding them.
So Dana White, he's a crazy motherfucker, right?
No, man, we actually, me and Dana,
he's awesome.
Me and Dana got a really good relationship, man. If I got questions about certain things, I'm not an asker. You get what I'm saying? If I ever call Dana or I go by and see him, it's normally because I got something that he want to hear, or I see something he might be interested in. That's always been my deal. But as far as like, there's no, people ask me all the time that we got a relationship. Does Dana White help me at all? Like I don't ask. I've never really asked him for anything. If I do have something, like when I launched my network, I wanted to get Power Slap. Onto my network. And so I asked him, I said, hey, you guys at Rumble, they were on Rumble at the time. I said, what are you going to do after Rumble? You got he said, Shawne, we got a massive deal coming. And so that deal just was announced like 2 weeks ago with Power Slap going over to YouTube and V-Chain and some other big deal they did. So
that shit's insane, dude.
That is insane.
That shit is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, every time they get hit, not every time, but there's a lot of dudes and a lot of ladies, right?
Yeah.
Flat on their back, man. I'm like, God, that seems awful.
Honestly, that slapping sound, dude, it makes me so happy. It's because there's a lot of people I would just love to slap the shit out of.
All right. So can you say who they are? Can we put them 1 to 5?
I need the top 3 lights out, getting lights out here. Who's getting slapped?
Open hand lights out. Yeah.
Dude, there's so many. It's when you're obviously in the corporate side, you need board meetings and shit. I go, it's like I'm looking across the table like, dude, you have no idea how much I want to get up and slap the shit out of you, but I can't. So when I watch Power Slap, man, I get my I get my fix in. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that. That sounds good.
That's amazing. I don't know.
Yeah,
That frightens me. I gotta be honest with
I
you.
mean, that's true because like when you were in your corporate boardroom, right? It was a 100-yard football field. So if I have beef with you, what am I trying to do? I'm gonna hit you.
You know,
And
it's so different, right? So, a lot, we sit in these board meetings, and whether it's for networks or sponsor, like certain things or whatever, and some of these guys who never played sports in general, especially another physical sport, you can always tell. Like, dude, if you was in the locker room, somebody would be dragging you by your damn ankle somewhere and just like tying you to something because you can just tell these guys never played sports and being jerks and all that. So it's a different field that I'm playing on now for sure.
So let me ask you this. You grew up as a boxing fan. In your mind, how did boxing lose the game to MMA?
But by having unfair matches, having great fighters fight tomato cans, and really just being about the individual and not putting anything back into the sport. And so, like, this is my field. Like, we got fighters. We're getting in a position to pay our fighters more. We're still we're a big regional promotion. We're the most distributed regional promotion in the world as far as where we're at in TV. We've been on Fubo and Bally's and Amazon Freeview. Like, you can watch us be in Sports, Pluto. You can watch us practically anywhere. But people always complain about. Let me tell you. So you went over there to see Dana, and this is like long time ago. So I saw the PI, the institute they have, the facility, right? Like the Apex and where all the fighters and stuff train. So the first time I went there, I'm walking around and he had his assistant to kind of show me the round because he was still in like pitch meetings or whatever. His meeting was run over. He texted me and said he'll be done soon. So they walked me around the building and they had all this like tech equipment and health stuff and ice machines and massage and therapies and cold tub hot, like everything in there. Free meals. They had free meals and stuff in there. And so when I finally went to go meet with Dana, this is a long time ago, but when I finally went to go meet with Dana, I said, yo, why don't you say it? Because everybody talk about the fighter pay and how bad the fighters get treated. I said, why don't you say anything? Like this, as a former athlete, to have this much care and treatment, and you don't have to, you can go to get stitched up or get stuff fixed, and like that's big to athletes. Being a former athlete, that was huge to us to be taken care of that way. He looked at me and was like, Shawne, I don't give a shit what anybody think, really. And it was almost, it just summed up who he really doesn't. Like it's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. Like the level of not giving a shit is so high. Like it's incredible. But anyway, yeah. So we want to be able to be in a position to send as many fighters as we can there. That if we're that solid where you come fight for Lights Out Xtreme Fighting and we got fighters going there, man, I think that's a big win for us.
That's a huge win. And just a simple formula for me, maybe you agree or disagree with it. I just know the more messed up in cauliflower I see somebody's ear, the more I back off. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. Back in the day when you had these bar fights, right? You just had to worry about somebody get boxed. If they had hands. Now, if they got those ears, man, just walk away. Just take your losses and just leave.
Yeah, I see him all the time. I live close to
American Top Team.
Top Team.
Yeah.
Right up the street from me, right? So a lot of times in the grocery store, I'll see dudes. A lot of them usually smaller than me, and I check the ears. I just go to the next aisle. I don't even bother to be anywhere.
It'll be your lights out if you take the last piece of asparagus.
All the time. And I'm like, I know, like there's so many dudes that are walking around that have no clue. I'm like, dude, they would rip your face off.
They can hurt you in so many ways. And even the smaller guys, right? If you get some big guy like me who has no skill, right? No takedown defense, have never been on the ground before, and just kind of just big and strong and stiff. One of those little guys, man, to get down there and mess you up bad.
Bad.
I was me and Dominique Cruz, we were in San Diego. We were having a drink at this it was a rooftop bar downtown in the restaurants. We were having a drink and we were out to eat and catching up. And we were talking about arm bars and different stuff, whatever. So the waitress came over and asked me, she said, hey, she didn't know what an arm bar was. And she asked me, she said, what's an arm bar? I said, you see him? And, Dominic Cruz probably half my size. And I said, you see me? I said, if he arm bars me, the only way I'm getting him off me if I swan dive off the edge of this building. And the girl just looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, it is the only way that I'm getting out of an arm bar because those guys are just so damn skilled.
Yeah, without it breaking, right?
Right.
So I picked up on some before because you said like WWE. So I think that's part of the culture. So you're a WWE fan?
Yeah, always. I mean,
who's your current favorite wrestler? Because we just had this on the last. We were talking about who's your current favorite, and then I need your favorite all time.
I think, dude, all time is so tough. And I was just, I did the Undertaker's 6 Feet Deep.
Oh, you did?
Nice. Yeah, I think 6
I
feet,
love
yeah.
that show, man.
He honestly, man, he's the best. But I'm a Roman Reigns guy. I mean, you know, I like Roman, but what The Rock is doing right now to find like everything he's doing is kind of, I think the WWE was missing that for a while. That storytelling, that attitude era, just a little bit, you know. Yeah, but Roman Reigns, but all time, I would say The Rock. I mean,
he's you know what school he went to?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean,
one more quick one. Hold on, Scoop. One more quick. So Shawne Merriman's a wrestler. What's your finishing move?
There we go.
Well, you know, I did a pay-per-view with TNA Wrestling about not even a year ago. Clothesline the hell out of Joe Hendry.
So that's it. The clothesline from hell. That's our finisher.
Yeah, I would do something where I'm
lights out finish.
I got a hell of a clothesline, bro. Like,
this has got to be on TV somewhere. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's up there, dude. I got a hell of a clothesline, bro. Like this, yeah. One of these things come across you, you're just done.
So you being in the ring though, like that, have you considered going into that at all a little bit more than you have?
Yeah, for sure. I think the biggest thing is for me is like everything else I got going on. So it's not whether I want to or not. You know, I try like
wise.
Yeah, it's time. It's really time, and you know that's probably why I didn't even really sign with WWE because people don't know those guys' travel schedule is crazy.
Ridiculous,
and unless you're on some special contract where you have a special date, for certain guys, certain
Brock
like
Lesnar
or one of the bigger guys, like you're traveling half the year, and that's just the business.
Is Rock better than? And we love Rock, obviously, but did he do more for the sport, the entertainment side of the business than Stone Cold did? I feel like because Stone Cold, I feel as though he saved the company.
He did, man. I think that what Stone Cold did in his run, because he had probably the best run I think in the history. You can go, the undefeated Undertaker and all the WrestleManias he won and all that stuff with like 20 or 21 straight or whatever it was. But when they're talking about like the run of Stone Cold when he was driving the bus up to the ring and the beer, like, I mean, I think one of the going up into the hospital with Vince McMahon, hitting him dressed in the damn, nurses in the doctor's outfit.
Oh my God.
The him with
I just saw you. I just saw your clothesline. He's out cold.
Yeah, no, I got a hell of a
It's ruthless. It's ruthless.
Yeah,
I had to look it up. That's it. That's your finisher.
I got a hell of a clothesline, man. My clothesline. If one of these gets you, you're done.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
I gotta be honest with you. The leader for me for the show title, only because it's totally random, is tomato cans.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, that's what they are. Yeah. So just back to that part with boxing. All time, I'm gonna go with The Rock. The second is I'm tied between Stone Cold and Undertaker.
Yeah. I can't, man. I was so pissed off, and I don't watch it much anymore. Because to be honest with you, I mean, like you said, the charisma has been lacking for the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, right? I mean, it's just that type. I mean, Roman Reigns is great. Obviously, he's run the sport, but the charisma just wasn't as what it used to be. And it's one of those things where I was totally gonna go somewhere, and now I can't think. What were we talking about?
No, we were talking about just that, like the top,
I had a whole point to this.
I'm sure you did.
Did you
I'm
know?
sure I did. I did. I had a point. Hey,
Sure?
yeah, don't question my antics here. I knew I was going to say something.
No, so you got okay. So you
Oh,
got
The Undertaker. He lost. They made him lose. Like,
right.
why? Why? After all those years, I know it's a business. I don't think that's a smart business move.
I don't think it was the greatest. Neither is Cena turning heel at the end of his
Worst. We
the
just
very
talked about this last week.
Mhm.
Awful.
yeah. Look again, smart or not, if it does something to catch people off guard and makes enough noise, then ultimately it could potentially be a very big move. And you got to think they got stuff planned out. They're not thinking like by the next like 3-6 months. They're thinking about what we're going to do for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
What we're going to do at the top of the year 26. So when they making these moves now, like even with Cena or like somebody passed the baton to the next person down or making them lose at the end because, dude, Taker was so beat up towards the end of his career. He could not keep, like going to manias over and over and over again. I mean, he has such a long run doing it. How much can you win before you have to pass that torch? You just walk away from WrestleMania undefeated. So, I mean, people were crying, dude. It was like,
Yeah.
It sucked.
it
was brutal.
So let me ask you this, because I don't know if you guys agree with it, but I think over the last few years, and listen, Vince is an icon. I mean, grew up on Vince being the announcer and the ring interviews, everything. But I've seen a turn for the positive since he's been out of the company over the last few years. I think that long stretch that Scoop was talking about kind of, that was kind of his swan song. And I think since they removed him.
Oh, look, Triple H is brilliant.
Yeah,
I think he's done a remarkable job.
Yep.
I think that Vince was going to take the company to his grave, and when you're so accustomed, and I love him to death, Jerry Jones. He's literally like he's like family. But again, when you've been doing something for so long, and you got a way about doing it, and nobody's going to tell you anything different because it's worked for you for so long, but it's a time when it doesn't work. And I think that with Vince, with the old regime and some of the stuff that he wanted to keep doing, it wasn't keeping up the pace of what's going on right now. And Triple H is, Paul is great because he as a former as talent, one of the best talent that ever walked through the company, to now being able to have a vision on how to turn this thing. I mean, you can argue that WWE is the hottest it's ever been right now. And that's crazy to say because that whole Attitude Era when Stone Cold was in, I think it was such a big splash because we never experienced that as fans. We never experienced it. But as far as the popularity of the WWE right now, it's the biggest.
I mean, look, to move the net. I didn't think this interview or hangout session was going WWE like full hardcore here. This is great. Yeah,
Well,
we don't talk about it
you
much,
brought
but
up Jerry
last week we
Jones.
talked about it. Now we're talking about it again. It's great.
Sean, have you ever seen the show Landman?
Yeah, I just finished it.
Oh my! All right, so like the second to last episode, Jerry Jones is in their bedside now. Like I don't know how much you know him, but was that acting? Was that a real story? He was phenomenal. Like that speech, that 5 minutes was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was 50-50 because he's passionate about that, and obviously Landman is about how he built his life and bought the Cowboys and everything else. So there was obviously this truth. I mean, Stephen Jones, I'm really close with the entire Jones family, and he feels that way about a lot of stuff. Now, the stretch and home run to bring that thing home was immaculate. I mean, he was, he might be up for an Emmy or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like that was a phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, like the second to last episode, Jerry Jones out of nowhere shows up and just steals the show.
he hit it. He hit it. The timing of it. And people understand, man. I've done a lot of TV when people always say, "Oh, somebody's not a good actor, or they this or they that." I said, "Dude, when those lights come on, and you're forced to do certain things and be somebody else, and timing and how you look and come across to the people that's watching you, there's a lot of work to that." And I think for someone who's not an actor and had a lot of reps at doing it, that scene right there had he's older too, so you feel he could be talking to his to his time right now, how much he has left. And
it was powerful.
It was powerful as hell. I think he did a great job, man.
Do I have to watch the rest of the show to watch that and make it make sense?
No.
I just don't have time to watch television, so I'd like to watch this.
Honestly, I was like, Billy Bob Thornton is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, the best.
Anything he's in, I'm watching. He was just only got to see Goliath too about him being an attorney. That's another good one. But
I saw that years ago. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, they did. I think they just renewing that for another
really?
season. Yeah, I think that's coming back.
I think I only saw one season of that.
Yeah, that's coming back. They come back with another season. But if you haven't seen Landman, it's
phenomenal.
Oh
crazy.
My goodness.
Crazy.
This is great. We don't even have 5 questions because Roe had to.
No, because Roe disappeared. Yeah.
Roe had to run out and save somebody's life real quick.
Well, let me ask you this. We've talked a lot about MMA, everything else, but most of us always are going to know you from the NFL. And if someone asks Shawne, when I say your best defensive play, what pops into your mind?
Best defensive play?
Yeah.
Well, the game will be 2006 Monday Night Football against the Raiders. I think I got 4 or 5 sacks against them in 3 quarters. I don't think I played the 4th quarter, but the play, I would say, man, is we were playing the Titans in at their home, and my knee was shredded. I had 2 torn major ligaments. My PCL and LCL was completely gone in my knee, and that thing was braced up, X'd up, and sleeved up, and I had to get injected just to play in the game, and they were driving into the end zone, and I got you guys to look it up. I drove into the end zone. I ran across the field, dove, and fumbled, and we got the ball back, and that's how we ultimately turned it around and won the game. So stuff like that I remember. And we were playing the Bills at home. J.P. Lossman, who ran like a 4.5 in the 40 or some shit. I tracked him down from like 15 yards away, ran him down, and clipped his heels. He didn't score, and they didn't. So we won that game or whatever. They didn't score on that drive. Like just little. I'm always effort, so I don't give a shit about. In my mind, I'm supposed to get sacks and stuff like that. But the thing is, and I got a 14-year-old son that plays quarterback. Actually, I'll just talk to him about effort. Those are things that I don't care about talent. You're supposed to have that. That's genetics and DNA. But the effort is what I remember most about some of those plays.
Yeah, I mean that certainly sticks out. Do you watch much college football anymore?
Not as much, man. Yeah, not as much as I used to, actually. I watch my Terps, obviously, and I watch some Big Ten football and some of the bigger, SEC footballs, games and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I do feel bad for you. We did send Josh Gaddis up to you, which was unfortunate.
As a senior, what is Shawne Merriman's NIL number?
Yeah, shit. Dude, yeah. I mean, a couple million for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple
crazy,
million
right?
for sure.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. And the reason I asked you that is because you're talking about the effort. And there was one play last year for the Miami Hurricanes that just popped into my head. Elijah Arroyo stops a pick 6 from the opposite corner, literally the opposite corner of the end zone.
Like a DK Metcalf corner.
It was so further than 100 yards. Ran him down, and they kicked a field goal, and Miami ended up winning the game because they didn't score on that. Just one of the best, and I think that got him on the map, and now he's blowing up, and with everything else. So, it's the effort. It's funny you didn't say anything about the big hits. It was more about the effort, and that's. I think that's
always that was always my thing. I'm going to get sacks and I'm going to knock somebody's ass out. Those 2 things are going to happen. For me, it was always like those plays, running across the field or diving across the top of the pile, and those type of things I remember most.
So Toast doesn't want Cam Ward to go to the Titans because he thinks the Titans uniforms suck. I disagree entirely.
The team is just,
I think the Titan uniforms are great. You?
I like them. I always like that blue. Yeah, I always like the blue.
Yeah. See,
I don't like him much when Jeff Fisher was there because I hated his ass. But,
is he how? So 1 to 5, where is he on the slap list?
Oh, I would slap shit out of him right now. To be honest.
Who else hated him? Hold on, McCarthy. Colin McCarthy said the same thing.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He said the same thing. Did you ever play with Colin or no? He was after you.
Yeah, I was after. I think. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't actually slap him, but if I had an opportunity, I might.
No, you'd consider it. Come on.
Yeah, I would consider it for sure.
All right, so we've got Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 23. So that's going to be next Saturday. This is dropping tomorrow. So next Saturday, the 22nd. How do people watch this, Shawne?
Yeah, you can Lights Out Extreme Fighting 23 will be live in Long Beach, California. They can you guys can download Lights Out Sports TV, which is available on every smart TV, iOS, Android. Tons of free live sports there, but you don't want to miss this fight. We got a banger, man. 12 fights in one night.
What?
You know, we got a lot of
Starting at
fights.
noon.
Eight pro and then four amateur. Four amateurs on undercard, and then we got 8 pro. So it'll be about close to 4 hour show. So make sure you get it. Arnold Jimenez on this card as the main event, fighting Luciano Ramos, who's Nick and Nate Diaz guy. He came down from Stockton. He's saying from Nick and Nate Diaz camp. Got that one coming down.
Are you on the broadcast?
What's that?
Are you on the broadcast?
Yeah, I always pop in the booth a couple times.
Okay.
We got great talent. Blake Troop and who's a former fighter for us, and Pablo Acina and Effie, who fought in the UFC. And then Eduardo, so we on the Spanish speaking side. So yeah, I put together a hell of a crew when it comes to that, man. I think we can be the next up. We really could. And the thing is with us, man, we want to send as many guys to the UFC as possible. We feel like if we could do that and make us more official, and we got really, really cool stuff coming. Like we put chips in the gloves that we're going to be live with this year. So I did a partnership with Shot Tracker. So that chip in the NBA basketball and that you hit the missing shots. So we have that in the gloves. We can measure speed, power, velocity, G-force.
Wow.
So that's going to be coming at some point this time too. So we already did it behind the scenes, but we didn't get the data until after the fight. We're trying to get it live with, the fans can watch and see
how hard a punch really was.
The G-force of that punch. If we start to get it to that point, man, we really think we can make our way and be disruptive in the sport.
You can just get rid of the judges entirely.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, look,
the Shot Tracker will tell you who wins.
Yeah, that'd be the point. And then at some point, you'll be able to bet on the G-force and bet on the velocity.
Oh my God!
Because we need to be more of a betting degenerate culture.
Entirely. Do we not?
I'm not a big gambler myself, but every one of my friends, everybody that's around me they love it. They would bet on 2 cockroaches fighting in the back alley if they could.
Dude, I got buddies whose moms are running parlays now.
I gotta be honest with you. That's not good. Jenners?
That's not good.
Oh no, this is not good.
That's exactly right. This is not good. You had mentioned, I don't know how much. Do you have to go? What time is it?
Oh, we good. We good.
Okay. So fighting in the backyards, you grew up fighting. I'm fascinated by this stuff. Is there a fight that you remember? So down here, a guy by the name of Kimbo Slice, right?
Yeah.
He was from down here. That's when all that started, the backyard brawls and him knocking everybody out in the boat trailer parking lots and behind the houses. And he got his gig that way. But I mean, is that something that you were doing just less official?
Yeah, and then too, like back when I grew up, you got to understand PG County in the Washington D.C. area. This was like in the '90s where the crack epidemic hit hard during that time, and it was rough, man. It was like my city and where I grew up at was like top 5 murder capital for like almost a decade, in Maryland and D.C. So it was just a rough place where you had to, and especially if you're good-looking kid that plays sports, like you better be tough because that neighborhood will find a way to make you untough, and you got to stand up for yourself. But I think ultimately, man, it was it taught me a lot, right? Like, I got a 14-year-old son, and he doesn't obviously have to be in those surroundings and those environments that I did. So get a chance to talk about it when I talk to him, and he's like, "Dad, really? What?" I said, "Yeah, it's pretty rough." But yeah, maybe who I am, man. So I got no complaints.
So it was a different time back then. I mean,
sure.
us with kids now, I have a 13 and 9-year-old daughter, a little different being girls, but they just don't understand. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that you, no matter what you try to teach them, they don't get it. Right. I actually go ahead.
And you look at it like you don't really want them to get like you're happy that they don't know. Right. In a way, you wish they knew.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Like wish they knew, didn't have the experience, but you wish they at least understood.
So now, is your son looking to try to play in college?
Yeah, he's he just committed to go. They get committed now. Was going to high school to DePaul Catholic in New Jersey. They're top 20 And for my son's the number one quarterback coming out in New Jersey, Justin Merriman, class of 2029. I think he's somewhere in the top 5 or top 10 in the country. Yeah, he's a dog, man. He can go. And then he got a hell of a work ethic, and he's a good kid, man. So I'm fortunate with that.
Well, maybe he can do something his dad, regrets that he didn't do, and that's go to Miami.
That's a good point. We'll say, hey, we can talk to Mario. Because we know Dawson will be here by then, but Mario for sure.
He, it's funny because UNLV supposedly gave him a verbal, non-verbal offer, right? So he's already colleges trying to reach out to him now, and it pisses me off because I'm like, you call me, don't ever reach out to him directly. But he's getting, he's 6'2.5", man. The got a cannon on him, big kid and strong and super smart, man, really with the football and athletics. So yeah, he's going to do something, at some point, but he's the next up. He really
You ever
is.
try to get him to the defensive side of the ball when he was younger?
Oh, I still do right now. I tell him because he loves to lift weights and work out. Obviously, he got my DNA, so he loves to work out and still get after it. I said, okay, keep hitting those weights. You're gonna be putting your hand in the dirt. You got to get him out. That normally gets him out the gym quick. So he didn't want to go to the defense side of the ball at all.
All the
I think he's
quarterbacks now, man.
He's going to. So DePaul, I think their quarterback. He's a beast to the DePaul Catholic. I think he's either going to Syracuse or something like that. So my son, depending on what happened with the coaching staff and the team, he'll be the next one up.
Now, how are you it's got to be intimidating for the coaches having you as the dad. Are you hands off at the games, or are you little side comments?
That's hard, man.
No, I'm definitely hands off for sure. Because even when he was in like the younger boys club or the youth leagues, the coaches would always want to have me speak and get more involved. And I'm like, dude, listen, he has enough. Like, people know who I am. They know who he is. He has enough going on where the last thing I need to do is now be in the middle of everything he got going on, right? I want him to go out there and just let loose and play football. I'll see him after the game now, if he's not playing hard or whatever. We get in that card and I'll let it rip. But for the most part, I'm hands off because I already know that he got to go out and perform. And just the fact that I'm sitting there watching him is enough pressure alone, because he know that he going to hear from me at some point. I may not jump up and scream during the game or say anything, but he look over me on those sidelines. He know what it is. So
who's louder on the sideline, you or mom?
Probably his mom. Yeah, it's always the positive.
Always, yeah.
Like, go Justin. I'm like, look at her like, man, if you don't sit down, like, come on.
Yeah, she's standing up doing it too, right?
Yeah.
He's like tugging on her jacket.
Right.
Look, it's hard having kids that are competitive athletes with Ro and myself, and it's a different experience than, you know what I mean? Because you have to shut up, and it's relatively impossible to do.
It was, so it's funny. My son he was a really good hockey player at first. My son started playing hockey first. And then, as he got older, the hockey season and football season kind of run into each other. So we had to make a decision. And if you're around those hockey parents, man, they all they're insane.
They're nuts.
They're insane. I mean, fighting at the games, talking back and forth to the ref, just banging, just going crazy. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, God, these kids, let them go out there and be kids. And, I almost got in a damn fight one time in a hockey game because at a certain age, you can't check. You can't check another player, another kid. And my son just out there obviously got my DNA in him, checked the hell out of one kid, took him right off the skates. It's embarrassing for the kid. It's almost, I'm not one of those. I did everything I wanted to in my career. I'm not trying to live out my life through my son, right? So you got some of these dads, their parents that is literally like, hey, I didn't make it, but my son or my kid is really good. Let me live through him, so you got plenty of those.
Ro's getting a call mid.
You have to go back out?
Oh, no. I went on something, but now I'm listening to my little brother who's at the other end of the city on a high-rise structure fire. So I'm just, of course, his bigger brother, I got to make sure little brother's okay. So because I got to call mom, God forbid something happens. So that's just what happens, Shawne. Sometimes when I'm on this side of the street, I got to bounce. I had something else completely different. I shared it with you guys in chat. I can't share it on this because I'll get arrested for HIPAA. But anyways, how you guys doing?
Well, we've pretty much exhausted all WWE questions, boxing questions, backyard fight questions, and a lot of other stuff. So I don't know how much time Shawne has.
Yeah, this is probably a good time to let him run. And we've
Roe gets back, Shawne's got to go.
There you go. Listen, Shawne, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, and we hope to have you on again sometime.
You got it, man. Appreciate it. Anytime. Looking forward to it.
5 questions, Ro?
Let's go.
Questions.
Chronic pick.
Oh, there
She's
she
back.
is.
She's back. I want to call her Chelsea so bad, but I know it's not Chelsea. If you were an NBA superstar and you had a son on your team, is your son off limits to the media?
My God, I'm not even.
No.
I find this whole thing. Here's the problem that I have with it, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The problem is that it's coming from him. I think that if it came from somebody else, people wouldn't have as much of a problem with it of those who have a problem with it, right? Because all this guy does is bitch. It's all he does. He's the biggest complainer and whiner in the history of sports, not just basketball. Like, truly, the worst crybaby I've ever seen in any sport. So the fact that it's coming from him makes it much, much worse. And people just don't like it.
I just think you devalue your son. I mean, at this point, you're still fighting he's in the NBA. First of all, he's in the NBA because
he's
of you.
not. I mean, he's in the NBA because his daddy's in the NBA.
But at the same point, and see, LeBron thinks he's justified because I'm coming at this like I'm a father. Okay, and he's a grown man, so you got to let him fight his own battles. He's in the NBA. What are you going to do? You're going to call his fouls for him? Are you his referee? I don't know. It's a bad look for Mr. LeBron James.
The whole thing's a bad look. He only got drafted because you're his dad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at his numbers at USC. Kid should be playing somewhere. I mean, he had a heart attack for crying out loud. Like, man, what are we doing?
4 points a game.
I mean, come on.
College.
In college.
I mean, you have the iconic Ken Griffey Jr. thing that happened for like a minutia of a second, and it gave you some of the most magical moments you've ever seen. But that was earned, right? But that was some of the great.
You're essentially comparing Griffey Jr. to Bronny.
And I'm saying that's up here. Look at the video camera. I'm getting to the tip.
I know, but
and this is like
about that. That's the comparison.
Huge. Like it's not even close.
Junior to
he doesn't even deserve that. Like he's a decent player in an LA Fitness League. Like he's not. It's like I could get some dudes in South Florida in an LA Fitness League and just get Bronny and let him pick 4 of his friends, and I'm gonna go against Bronny. Like I'm not sold on him.
I think you guys are looking at this all wrong, by the way.
Oh,
this has nothing to do with Bronny as a player. This has everything to do with LeBron James getting to say, I played with my son. That is it. That's the whole thing. It's the only reason the kid's there. He didn't deserve it. That's well noted, and everybody says it. It's all about LeBron having that chip in his legacy, and that's all.
I would say that this whole circumstance shows that he's a bad dad.
Yeah.
You put your son, you say that you regret that you named him Junior because it was going to be compared to you forever. And then you go ahead, you knew that. And then you do this? Like, and then you're complaining because Stephen A. Smith is talking shit? Like, come on, bro.
Look, and I think that Stephen A. Look, I very much like Stephen A. I know a lot of people don't, but I think that he is very good at discussing topics.
Yeah, 5 years, $100 million, good.
Yeah, I think, well, because he's polarizing. I mean, if people watch or don't watch because they love or hate him.
Oh, wait until he's president.
Yeah, that's true too. But look, he's very, very eloquent in how he approaches situations, as he was when he approached this situation afterwards. To be honest with you, and he's never been terribly hard on Bronny. He's just stated the obvious, which a lot of people have done in a much more brash fashion. But yet you approach Stephen A. on courtside to have this conversation that you don't want to be known, right? I mean, you did it to the point where Stephen A. was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, they don't like each other. So it's like one of those things where there's so many layers to this, but I think you're right, Toast, to be honest with you. By all accounts, he's a very good family man, a very good father. From my understanding, that he has been forever, and I have no say in that. What I do have a problem with is you put your son in an impossible spot, right? We just talked to Shawne Merriman, who said he doesn't even speak on the sideline of his son's games or speak when they ask him to speak because they don't want his son to have to deal with the fact that he's Shawne Merriman's kid. That's more of what I believe should be done than gifting this kid because you want to play with him for a year when he's not capable of playing in that league any year. I think it was a huge disservice for Bronny, for sure.
Real quickly, I feel like when LeBron takes this stance and he says, I'm taking this as a father, that's giving him his justifiable shield and spear. I'm like, this is it. But at the same time, he's a man. He's raised. By you making that statement, it's like he's not raised. He's not raised enough to fight this battle on your own. So again, I think you did a bad job as a father. You're right. I know, Toast, you probably maybe said it in jest at first, but no, as a dad, you're raised, dude. I raised you, okay? I'll always defend you. I'll come to your aid. But this is your own battle now. So, yeah, I agree.
Hey, listen, if LeBron's pissed off at the coverage, keep your mouth shut. Go talk to mom. Let her say something that would have much more weight coming from her. No one's ever heard her say a word.
Mama Bears.
Right?
You listen to Mama Bears. Yeah, you listen to Mama Bears a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but there wasn't a problem until LeBron made it a problem.
And he knew what he was doing, and he knew that by confronting him, this was going to come out. You don't know. You think confronting Stephen A. Smith the way he did, that Stephen A. Smith does not fear LeBron James.
Oh my God.
Right. He does not. Exactly. He does
Lord
not
have mercy.
Like he is not threatened by
really
him.
Is the best, man.
But like LeBron James is like one of the greatest in NBA history. And in Stephen A's mind, he's one of the greatest in broadcast history. You're not talking down to me. He's not talking. It's like you're on my level. So he's not going to back you. So LeBron knew what he was doing,
He's fat.
He's
with a PH.
Look, dude, his delivery. He's probably one of my favorites to ever do it. I think you look at. I know a lot of people hate Colin Cowherd, and I'm not a huge fan, but he is the best analogist I think that's ever done.
And he can free flow by himself, which
like
is
he's brilliant at certain things. I know people don't like his opinion on stuff, but no one touches Stephen A. Bro. He's
Daniel.
so good, bro.
Question number 2.
Let's go.
We've done versions of this, but I need to revisit this. What is on your ultimate sandwich?
All right. I'm going to tweak mine a little bit here. I think last time there's a new condiment now. Garlic aioli.
Ooh.
Like instead of like a mayo. Telling you might want to give this a shot, whether you put it on like with a turkey or like a oven roast chicken, whatever it is. But yeah, throw some garlic aioli on there.
No,
Did
you say what's on
the whole
top
sandwich?
Of it?
Like construct your own sandwich.
The structure of the whole sandwich. I mean,
yeah.
All right, so garlic,
bread, cheeses. Like, what do you got?
Jesus Christ!
All right, I'll go. You want me to go
basically
first?
Order a sub. Welcome to Subway. Can I take your order?
I'm telling you right now, it's a pub sub. My ultimate sub is going to be a Publix Boar's Head Ultimate. Right? It has to be Boar's Head because when it's Publix Ultimate, it's just not the same. It's kind of trashy. Jalapeno jack cheese. Then I'm going to need yellow mustard, mayonnaise mixed together like it's a Cuban, some banana peppers, some tomatoes. Wrap it up, and I'm a happy man. That's my ultimate sandwich.
I'm going Boar's Head Italian. I'm doing that on a plain white hoagie roll. I'm using spicy deli mustard, using provolone cheese. I'm going to have lettuce, tomato, onion, banana peppers, black olives, and motherfucking jalapeno peppers. And then we're going to throw out some of those, what are those Louisiana Bayou chips they got there right on the rack with all the little, like, all the colors. What are they, like Zuppos or whatever? I don't know. They got them at the Polish
dirty chips.
Deli. Yeah, they're fun little chips. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
My ideal sandwich is a big chocolate chip cookie on the top, another one on the bottom, and vanilla ice cream in between.
Dude,
that is amazing. Good
That's
answer.
strong.
Good answer.
That's very
Good
strong.
answer. It's not the answer to be number one on family food, but it'll be like 5.
Yeah, and around the ice cream, mini chocolate chips.
There you go.
Nothing better ever than an old school Chipwich from Cumberland Farms.
Chipwich.
Yeah. We have a place around the corner called Smush Scoop. It is an ice cream sandwich shop. It's been there for like 2 years now. Just all they sell is ice cream sandwiches.
Good for them.
Yeah.
They're probably making a killing too.
Whatever, bro. I mean, listen, all they need. Listen, if you have one of those, you open that next to a pot dispensary. You are printing
should be
money.
open inside it.
Like you are
Tulsa
printing
King.
money,
Inside,
right?
yes,
Exactly.
yes, yes.
Tulsa King, I love that as well.
They're serving the food.
Bro, I can't watch a show right now that isn't done by Taylor Sheridan. Pretty much my rule.
Oh no, Tulsa King's pretty damn good.
What about you,
Taylor Sheridan?
Oh,
what about you, Jenners?
Jenners?
Ultimates. Can I cop out and just say La Spada?
Because
I mean,
once I was done with the pub sub,
I've never had a sandwich like La
He's
Spada.
been gone so long.
so
that's not true.
My La Spada sandwich is actually different than my pub sub sandwich
mine.
in your time.
Mine
Mine's a
is
roast
too.
beef.
Yeah.
Mine's a roast beef.
Yeah,
and
same.
salad.
Same.
Yeah.
See, I like turkey and roast beef.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Turkey and roast beef.
Yeah.
I like
Get
white
the
American
topper.
cheese.
I like
lettuce, tomato,
provolone. Put some
pickles.
provolone, lettuce, tomato in there.
Listen,
Yeah.
they're
And
good
then
for the
I do
show.
the red peppers too.
Throwing that topper across
sweet
about
peppers
good
are
10 to
good.
feet.
Oh,
10
yeah.
feet is good.
Yeah.
Those
Landing
sweet peppers
perfectly
are
on
real
that.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about shows. No, we got more questions.
Now we got question 3.
All right, but I got shows. Go ahead.
All right, we'll
All
come
right.
back.
A different version of this question before, but it's a different spin on it. What if you could pick a single line from a comedy film that you think everyone will know? What would the line be?
I mean,
Surely you can't be serious.
See, I'm afraid that my lines
I
might
am
be
serious.
aging us
It's a
out.
great one.
So you can't go through life fat, drunk, and stupid.
Oh, iconic.
I mean,
Mine is, how's your burger? What did she eat up? And we'll tell you.
Hey, Griswold, where are you going to put a tree that big?
Up
I
your
don't know. I'll
ass.
show you.
Yeah, I've been able to show you. I wasn't talking to you.
That moment, man.
That is
Still
one of the best. Well, coming from the same movie, Shitter's Full.
Oh, yeah, there
Nice.
you go. Everyone will know that.
Yeah, I was actually, my first thought was fat man in a little suit.
Bad man.
A little coat.
If
Fat
I
man's a
say-
little coat. Yeah.
Coat.
if I say strange things are afoot at the Circle K,
Oh, come on.
do you know that?
Say it again. Strange things are
Strange
circle.
things are
What?
Strange
Circle K.
things are afoot at the Circle K.
Bro, who
Oh,
says
it's
a
Circle K?
Yeah.
Of course I do, but I don't know. if they do.
Yeah. I don't. What the hell's the name of the
Bill
movie?
and
Yeah.
Ted.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I actually know that.
Nice.
Question number 4.
Hold on. I'll tell you a line, and then I'll say that I didn't watch the movie. You guys know I haven't watched this movie, but the line, say hello to my little friend.
That might be one of the most famous.
Great line. I mean, great.
How have
and
you
the
never
fact that
watched that movie?
I've never seen any of them.
I gotcha.
Oh, it's so cheese. It's so
Yeah, I don't
cheese.
know. I can't tell you why.
Doesn't really hold up.
Not anymore.
It's fun.
Not
It doesn't
anymore,
really-
yeah.
Especially the way they're
Now it's pretty
dancing,
racist.
The way Tony's dancing on
no, it's extremely
Michelle
racist.
Pfeiffer.
Extremely racist.
Oh,
Extremely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You notice they're never showing that on like TBS on a Saturday night.
But then again, so is Dumbo. Ever watch Dumbo?
Yeah.
I never seen no elephant fly. Oh, yeah, can't do that anymore. Sorry, buddy.
Well, Scoop apparently is all pissed off by what's happening in Paradise.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with
Great
you. I fell asleep last. I had a day yesterday that it was something very long. I fell asleep with 15 minutes left in the last episode.
Oh, buddy.
I'm only
I did.
episode like 2.
So Steph left the room to go do something, and I fell asleep. She came back, and I was asleep. And she was so pissed off because it's like there's 15 minutes. We have never been so pissed off at a television show as episode 4 of that show. We had to go pick. This is a true story. We had to go pick up Kenzie from her DC trip, and we had to pick her up at like midnight. So we're watching the show before we had to leave. We didn't speak to each other the entire way down to the Fort Lauderdale airport because the two of us were so angry at what they did in this show. Have you seen it, Jenners?
I've watched the whole show. I'm trying to remember what happens in episode 4.
Episode 4 is when you meet Billy Pace.
Oh, that whole episode with Billy Pace, about his background.
The ending of that show, I've never been so mad in my life.
But it had that whole show. Episode 7, I think, was amazing.
Episode 7 was great.
Cinematic.
So I'm almost finished. Finished. So Toast is only in episode 2, so don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, don't ruin it for me.
It's a really great show.
It's really, really well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
bro. No. Question 4. What is the ugliest car ever made?
Cybertruck.
Oh my God. You will both appreciate
a good answer.
You will appreciate this. I saw this on the road today.
No.
I saw an orange Subaru Bart.
Bart?
A Bart?
Bart, the Bart pickup. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I couldn't believe it. There was like a pumpkin running down the road.
We've had this discussion about a Cybertruck, and it looks cool from the front. It's weird from the side, and it's decent from the back. It's like a weird date you're going on with a girl you'll never ask out again.
Okay, I guess so.
All right, but my answer, PT Cruiser.
Really ugly.
That is a terrible looking car.
It was, unless you were like made it all goth, like it was like a hearse.
Yeah, no,
it was kind of cool. You have like skulls and stuff and skeletons.
Scoopy, what's your answer?
Hold on a second, because now you got me thinking. I don't even know where my phone is.
See, I know I say Cybertruck though because I was talking to my daughter about this yesterday with the Cybertruck. I go, the truck's horrible. It's ugly. I'm sure I've heard it's beautiful on the inside. I haven't seen the inside, but I've heard they're gorgeous. But I go, she's like, it's terrible. But I go, yeah, but every time we drive by one, you and I both go, Cybertruck. So is it really defeating the purpose, or is it kind of working?
What are you looking for, Scoop?
I'm looking for, is this it? The Plymouth Prowler.
Oh, is that
looks
the
like
one
a PT
with
Cruiser.
The
no.
tight front end and the wheels that came out. I know
yes,
exactly
they tried to make it look like a hot rod.
Like a hot rod, yes. I know exactly what
and I'm like, what is this?
They were hot for a minute too. In the early aughts, they were.
Those.
Remember this thing?
They were all over
remember
the place.
that. I remember that. Yeah.
The strangest and oddest looking thing. And I gotta be honest with you, I think my dad had one.
Of course he did.
I'm pretty sure he had one. I'm pretty sure Wilson had one.
Wilson.
He did.
I just love that we learned your dad's name.
it. He traded it with his buddy for his buddy's vet. Like just swapped it out, I think. Yeah. I'm like, that was pretty good deal on your part. I was
gonna say that's like the Luke AD trade.
Right?
What are you doing?
All right, what do we got?
Last question number 5. Where do you feel completely at home, or did feel completely at home, present or past tense, that isn't literally your home?
I would say, the Zeta Studio, the old Zeta Studio.
I was gonna say the same thing. The corner one.
Yeah.
I think just because we spent so much stupid time there.
Yeah, it's home away from home, man.
I hate that they gutted that room and turned it into whatever the hell it is now.
Whatever.
I don't even think they're in that building anymore. Actually, I think
No, they're not. The building's gone. Yeah, they're in a different building where nobody has an office now. It's all community space.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Joe Biden's America. No, sorry.
I don't understand how that should work. I don't know how you
Makes no sense.
Yeah. What do you mean we can't have an office? No, you need to be with people. Fuck people.
Right. I'm on the radio for a reason.
Yeah, the 5 of us need to huddle in a room and be able to say shit that doesn't offend all the bitches outside.
What you don't
We're going to offend
understand
enough people when we talk on the radio.
What you don't understand about radio people is we hate people.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's why you're on the radio.
People, right.
Like,
Put us in a little room. Leave us alone.
Yes. Oh.
It's a good question. I don't know an answer to that.
Yeah, you never worked like in an office.
Do you have an office?
Me?
Yeah.
I've got a lot of different offices, to be honest. I own an office for the mortgage and title company, but I'm never there anymore. I have an office at my house, and I have access to offices really kind of anywhere.
Okay. I was just curious.
But I don't go.
Okay.
I don't go.
I don't think he ever viewed the mortgage office as like his happy place.
I mean, back in the day, I was there every day of my life. You know?
What about the warehouse?
Yeah, I thought about that, but then I couldn't figure out which one.
Oh, any of them.
We had a few. I mean, Roe lived in one for a year. Is that your answer?
No.
Yeah, he didn't feel home
At
there.
the firehouse.
He had a cold shower.
No, that's not my answer today. There was a reason why I asked this question.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus.
My couch.
No. I gotta take my time with this one. 84 Midland Road, Staten Island. That's where I would spend my summers. Beautiful people, Pat and Sal Marcianti, to which we tragically lost them to a hit and run. One of them. Don't DUI, you bitch. You stole something very precious from me. Okay, so go fuck yourself, pleasantly. But I patterned my home because of those people. I just knew growing up that those two people, that was like the type of home and love that I wanted. Because my mom was Shawne Merriman's mom, smoking cigarettes. All right. So that's where I was this weekend. And that was home for me. That was my home away from home.
All right. Jenners?
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zeta Studios.
Yeah. I mean, besides the Zeta Studio, my studio now at the Battery at the ballpark, because we've been there for 8 or 9 years, and I spend every waking minute that I'm not in this studio in that one. So this one's at the house, the other one's at the ballpark, and I just drive back and forth between these two rooms for the last almost decade.
So on that note, what are we naming it?
Oh boy,
I didn't have a ton.
We're a couple.
I did like tomato cans. That was pretty fun.
The tomato cans was good. I thought "fuck you, bitch" was pretty good too.
That was pretty good. I put that down.
That was pretty strong.
Didn't hit the final list. Boy, get the hell out the room from Shawne Merriman was good. Tastes like jelly beans. Toasts Manscaped.
Oh yeah, the Manscaped tastes like jelly beans.
Made all of Mayor Rickenbacker and a pumpkin running down the street.
That one was good too.
Yeah. So those are the only ones I wrote down, but toast is
another one that I'd thought of, but now I can't remember it. I thought we had mentioned it earlier. That was like a play on something. I don't know. I don't care what we go with. Whatever.
There you go. That's the commitment we need on the show.
Yes.
I like tomato cans.
Tomato cans was funny.
Tomato cans will work.
Did I miss that reference?
Yeah, you were in here.
Yeah.
Okay. It was Dirty Merriman.
That's
yeah. We were talking about pro boxing and what happened to it, and he's like, "Well, you put a bunch."
I did hear that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did hear that. The tomato cans. Okay, yeah. I did hear that. I was still here for that.
Good.
All right, boys. Anyone lined up for next week, Jenners?
Oh yeah, Adam Rank from Good Morning Football.
Oh, nice. Okay.
On NFL Network.
There we go.
So I'm talking a little bit more spring ball.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, until then, boys and girls, as always, go Canes.
Yo! Bang.
Chronic dick.